and welcome to the second episode of This Peculiar Life, the podcast about stories from my own life and maybe even some of yours. I'll be your host, and let's get right into the show. First off, I would like to recognize the fact that I have been gone for let me see how long. Shoot, this might take a while. Hold on. I'm very sorry. And it took me very long. It took me so long because I did not have creative juices in my brain. And I took some time to just kind of refresh my creativity in my brain and I just needed some stories. I still don't have that many stories, but I'm thinking I might. Today's episode is going to be about, it's been a month since I made an episode. Today's episode, I kind of just want to make it about weird experiences with weird people and also creepy people. And so, I think I would like to start off with the time. At our local pool, there are a lot of people, some of them very strange people. So I would like to talk about this one girl I met when we were like 8. And she was a very, very nice girl. I sometimes wonder where she is. Because sometimes I think about her late at night and what she did, which I'll get into. But I'll say she had like short brown hair, and I don't know if it was short or long, and she had a very playful personality, and she was a very fun person. And I only saw her that one time, but I was like, I don't know if I really want to see her again, because she's kind of strange. And I'm not going to talk trash about her, because I'm sure she's nice now. But dang, okay, when we were 8, she was strange. We met together at our local public pool, which has a lazy river and 2 slides. One slide terrifies me, and the other is fine. One slide dumps you off the raft and throws water up your nose, and it's not fun. And I kind of want to, that made me want to segue into something else, but I'm trying to keep my ADD brain under control right now, so I'm sorry. But this girl, we talked about all kinds of things. We sat on the side of the pool, we hung over the edge of the pool, we hung by the side of the pool, yes, the edge, the side, yes, that thing, and we just talked, and we talked, and we talked, and we talked, and we just talked for like an hour, and we got about like how like pools are gross, and I'm like, man, people like kind of spit in pools a lot, and she's like, yeah, and she somehow got on the topic of peeing in the pool. I was like, I don't pee in the pool anymore, but I did when I was like 4, and she's like, oh, you don't pee in the pool? And I was like, huh? And she was like, everyone pees in the pool. And I'm like, madam, you are 8 years old. You are an adult lady, and you don't need to be tinkling in any public pools. This is meaningful later. This is like, we're gonna get back into this later. And so we went through the lazy river together, and we were like, dang, we should go through the slide, which leads into the lazy river, and then go through the lazy river together. I think I was in front. I don't remember this completely, but I think I was in front. And so this is, oh my god. Actually, no, I might have been in back. Because I was like, it's like the heaviest person in the back, and I always took the back. Because I believed I was the heaviest person. I was taller than my friends back then. That's back then when I was considered tall for my age. Now I'm short as heck, and everyone's like a friggin' really heckin' tall. But anyways, we got into the pool float, and I was in back, and she was in front. And so we went down the slide together, and I pinched my nose just to not get water in my nose, and she didn't, and so we got we got into the water, and we went boosh, and got splashed into the water, and we got into the lazy river, and we stopped. And she started giggling. And I was like, what? I looked into her eyes, and I'm like, what? What did you do? And she's like, ah ha ha ha. And I'm like, what did you do? And she kept laughing, and I was like, what did you do? And she's like, you don't want to know. I don't want to know, she said. You don't want to know. This girl, since I was in the back, the water was moving, so I would catch the contaminated water. Since I was in the back and she would leave that behind, so yeah, I didn't talk to her after that much. I wasn't ticked off. I was just terrified. I was terrified. I was like, oh my god, did you tinkle in the pool float with me in it? Is that what you did? Is that what you did? That's what you did, isn't it? And it was what she did that. And I still kind of want to see her someday and look her in the eyes and say, why did you do that? Do you know why you did that? But anyways, that was alrighty. There are some creepy people I met in the pool. Oh yeah, I was gonna go off on a small tangent here. We were talking about the water in the slide. I think I said something about slides that made me think of water. Oh yeah, the slide that scares me because it's all dark and the top is not open, and so it's scary because it's dark, and I don't like that one. I like the one that's open and it's faster and it's more fun. But speaking of things that are wet and scary, toilets are that was a weird segue. Toilets are scary. I don't know if this applies to anyone else, but my god, am I terrified of like toilets that flush loud. I hate it so much. Sometimes it's nice and it's just like whoosh. Then sometimes it like blows you back with the force of 1,000 men with just the sheer amount of noise coming from the cursed bowl of Satan. And it is horrible. It's horrible. I hate it so much. I do not like it. I do not like it at all. And what I hate even more is when the toilet is automatic and it just flushes by itself. So you don't know when it's coming and you have no control in this situation. And I normally, like, I don't even, like, I don't, like, I'll still, like, have my shorts on the floor and I, like, won't, like, I just freeze and back up to the stall, like, without hesitation. And I wait for it to be over. And sometimes it's nice and it's like, oh, thank you. And sometimes it feels like it's gonna suck you into the swirling pit of hell, and I hate it so much. All of those bathrooms that are like everything is automatic, like, I don't like it. I do not like it. Like the sinks that are just like shh, and then you get like a teaspoon of water and it's like, now wash your hands, do it. And I'm like, I don't have enough water. That's not enough water. And then it gives you like 1 milliliter of soap, and it's just like, you expect me to use this on my hands to wash them, to wash them? It's just stop playing. But anyways, I'm done with the toilet tangent. I'll stop talking about toilets and bathrooms where everything is automatic, and the hand dryers are terrifying and I don't like them. Yeah, but yeah, back to the pool. I met one other weird dude at the pool, who kept going by us on the lazy river, me and my mom, and every time he'd say, hey, how's it going? And I was like, hi. He's like, hello. And I was like, hi. Now, I don't know if he was like, I don't know how to say this without sounding rude. Like, mentally challenged. I'm sorry. Mentally handicapped? Is that how you say it without being mean? I don't want to say it like being rude, like he might have been a normal dude and just kind of weird, and I don't want to be like, oh, he's autistic, because that would have been kind of mean. But I don't know. He seemed to have that kind of vibe, because I've been around of like a bunch of special ed kids, because my mom's a special ed teacher, and he had kind of a special ed kid vibe, but he also had a weird predator vibe. And so I was like, what are you? What? Who? Why? He kept coming by us. He did this like 5 times. And he's like, hi. And I'm like, hello. And he's like, hi. And I'm like, no, stop it. Please. No, please. It was so creepy and weird. I did not like that experience. And then we went and we were like trying to like get out of there, or like I don't know what we were trying to do, but I was like, we were slowing down by the railing, and he's like, I can help you out. My mom was like, no, you will not. It just makes me think of like the one time I went to a skating rink, and it was a weird experience. Roller skating, it was a weird experience. It was so weird, because like it was such an unfamiliar environment to me. I was like, why does this feels like the 70s just vomited and made this place? Because it probably did. It was birthed out of 70s vomit and headache-inducing lights. But I went to the front desk and I'm like, I would like some roller skates, please. Because, people are scary. And, like, everyone there was like, it was just so weird. Everyone there had this like specific like vibe to them. That's the 4th time I said vibe, and I'm very sorry. But they all had this weird like the vibe. They all had this weird thing going on, and I can't put my finger on it. But it felt so weird. And the dude at the front desk was no exception, because we went to the front desk and I was like, I like some roller skates. And he's like, oh, this girl wants some roller skates? And I'm like, yes, I would like some roller skates. Thank you. I don't understand. I like think about that a lot. Like, why? He probably saw that I was a timid child, and I didn't want to be like, hey, you want some roller skates? But like, dude, chill. Yeah, I don't know how he wanted me to react, like when you've never known someone before, and you're like, hey, you want some roller skates? Oh man, that's crazy. Whoa, this girl wants some roller skates. He like turned to his friend and was like, oh man, you'll never guess what, dude, this girl wants some roller skates. And I'm like, I just want to skate with my friends. I don't want to do this. And so, yeah. That was... I was very uncomfortable. Like, that was so weird. I don't know what freaked me out so bad. I was just like, no. Which reminds me of a time while I was actually having this, like, on my mental list of things to talk about. But, this dude, oh my goodness. I danced Irish dance for 8 years of my life. And one of those years, I was 11 years old. And I went into, it was like so they have like little like festivals, like little festival things, man. Where they have like a bunch of little tents. And, so we went into this tent that had like little like keychains of like family crests, and then like kind of next door, but it's still in the same tent, they had wind chimes, like, which is really close to us as well. And so we were looking at the family crests, and this guy behind me said, hey. And I turned around like, yeah. And he leaned his arm against the wall of the tent and reached his hand up and started playing with the wind chimes, trying to look all like he's like some like hot stuff, like, come here, ladies, like, no, no. And my man, who looks like he's in his very late 20s, early 30s, with glasses like the kid from Malcolm in the Middle, looking like he lives in his mama's basement kind of dude, looks at me dead in the eyes and says, "Hey," and I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Lovely weather we're having, aren't we?" And I'm like, "You, sir, need to stop. I don't know what you think I am, but I am an 11-year-old girl, and I don't need that kind of talk. I'm a child. You are a grown man. I do not appreciate this. Please stop." And so I was like, yeah. And I think he probably had the intentions of trying to flirt with an 11-year-old. Gross. So my mom like dragged me out of there, like I don't know. She was like, "We going," and I was like, "Okay." And yes, that was a delightful time. My goodness, my dude was looking like he was looking at me like I was a freaking, I don't know, like a taco on a plate. Like, look at this chick. Like, I was 11. It was so gross. It freaked me out. I didn't like that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, then that made me think of when I was coming home from youth group at my church, and I was getting in the car with my mom, and this lady walked out to the car, and she was like, "Hey, get out of the car. Hey, get out of the car. Roll down your window. Roll down the window." And I was like, "Mom?" She's like, "Just go with it. She's like, I'll help you out if it gets weird." I'm like, "Okay." And so I got out of the car, and she's like, "Hey." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Are you John's wife?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Is that John's wife in there?" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Are you John's wife?" And I'm like, "What?" And I'll never know who John's wife is. I mean, like, that was so, I don't understand. Like, I was so confused by the experience. I was like, "Are you referring to me or my mother in the car? Because I don't know." And she's like, "Are you John's wife?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And she's like, "I wanted to give this to her," and she held up a little bag. And I was like, "I thought you were gonna murder me." Ugh. Man, as weird as, like, dude, you ever have that, like, when someone says something to you and it leaves you up at night, like, thinking about, like, what did you mean? Why is that so confusing? Like, it's not like keep you up at night, like, terrifying, but it's like keep you up at night, like, huh? Like, why would you yell at a 14-year-old girl and say, "Get out of the car, roll your window down, get out, hey, roll your window down. Are you John's wife?" Like, no. I was like 12, and I'm like, "What? No, stop." I didn't know who John's wife was. Apparently she wanted to give something to her. I hope John's wife got her stuff back. I mean, I'm not saying I don't have anything against John's wife. I just want to say, like, hey, maybe don't yell at people outside the car. Maybe you could knock on the glass and not go, "Hey," because that's kind of terrifying. I gotta say, as many weird experiences I've had with, like, dudes, I have had some weird experiences with ladies, but just probably, like, misunderstandings. Because once me and my mom were in a Walmart, and we both had masks on, and I was standing behind her, and she was looking at cheeses in the cheese aisle with, like, the cold stuff. Dude, Walmart is so cold. I need to bring a jacket there every time I go, and it's like, it's not fun. It's so cold. But, Yeah, it's always freezing. Anyways, uh, we were just minding our own business, buying some cheese, and this lady walks by, and she has her hair in like kind of a messy ponytail bun. I don't remember. She looks like she's the mother of at least 3 kids. Uh, oh man, she was weird. Um, and and she looked at us, and she had a mask on as well, so she's chill. But she was like, you're supposed to be 6 feet apart, right? And I'm like, did you did did you know that this woman, I came out of her loins? We lived together, in case you didn't notice me calling her mom. Because I think I was like, mom, like I called her mom in front of the lady. She's like, you're supposed to be 6 feet apart, right? And I'm like, we're wearing masks. And also, this woman has birthed me, and you have not. So it's different. But yeah, that wasn't necessarily like, oh, it's a Karen. I think she's like, hey, maybe social distance. But she said it in such like a snarky way. It was like, I was kind of like, do you know? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? What are you hoping to achieve by telling me to stay 6 feet apart from the woman who gave birth to me, who I live with and wake up to every day? What do you want? But yeah, anyways, oh yeah, now I know what I'm gonna talk about. There's this man who lives in these apartments, and we have these apartments kind of like 0.4 miles away from our house, 0.6 probably, actually, now that I think about it. A little shy, because like it's on the way to our 7-Eleven. That's near our house, which is 0.8 miles. Shout out to my 7-Eleven. It's amazing. There's a lady there who I love so much, and she gave me a free water once because I was poor. And I was like, man, I love you. She calls me beautiful. She's like, it's nice to see you again, beautiful. And I'm like, you are a precious human being. And she's like, hey, if you're ever looking to get a job in the future, I will hire you. And I'm like, hire you. And I was like, I want to work here so bad, but my family already has a job planned out for me, but I want to work here. I want to work at 7-Eleven. That's not something I thought I would say, but dude, if I got to work at 7-Eleven, I would not be mad. Just to see that lady, because she knows everything about 7-Eleven. She's like always there, and people will be like, she just like knows everybody, and she knows some of the customers that comes in, like me. But yeah, I drew her once, and I gave it to one of the employees. I'm like, give this to let me just make up a name. I don't freaking know. Jade, sure, Jade. Give this to Jade. And they're like, okay, cool. I don't know if they gave it to her, but she didn't say anything the next time I saw her. Maybe because she didn't know my name, and she still doesn't know my name. I want to tell her my name, but I don't know how to just walk into the store and be like, hey, here's my name, by the way. It's not something I'm really used to doing, just waltzing into a store and being like, hey guys, guess what my name is? But anyways, yeah. I'm getting a little off topic here, aren't I? On my walk to 7-Eleven, about 0.6, 0.7 miles away from our house, there are these apartments, and apparently, pretty recently, actually, 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, I don't really know, someone shot someone in these apartments. So, yeah, that happened. So these apartments are like a little suspicious. They're a little sketchy. And I always kind of walk fast whenever I see someone like getting out of the apartment. But this one dude, I know that he lives in one of these apartments because I saw him walk into them and I saw him walk out of it. And he's like, I was like walking past him, and he had this little black and white dog. Also, this dude really looks like a biker. So he has a long whitish gray beard, And I think he had glasses and like a bandana on his head. And I'm like, there is no way on God's earth that you do not own at least one motorcycle or two if you're like got the monies. But I assure you, he looked like a biker man. It was a wife, probably named like Carol. I don't know. But he was wearing a red bandana and he's walking his little black and white dog. And he was like, I was like, oh hey. He was like, hey. And he's like, don't be afraid. She's not gonna bite you. Everyone always says that because I get like, I don't know, like, I don't know why I do this, but I see someone with their dog and I'm like, I'm used to little dogs being ferocious beasts. I know how wild they can be, and I always like kind of like I don't know, because I've seen people with dogs that are such buttholes, but I don't know what it is. Like, I always look like I'm afraid of a dog whenever someone walks their dog by me, even though I have a dog, and I'm like, no, it's fine. And like, I'm like secretly like a little like jumpy around dogs, and they don't know that, so whatever. But my dude, he's like, nah, she won't bite you, and I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, I know. And so I was like, no, she's cute. And he's like, someone shot this dog. And I was like, I was just like, oh. And he's like, yeah, I rescued her. I'm like, that's cute. I don't know how to feel about that. I was like, okay, nice, thank you for sharing. That's a bit of an odd detail to share to a stranger walking by on the street. But yeah, okay. And he was walking past me, and I was walking a little slower because I was like, what? I was like trying to process like what just happened here. And I saw him walking to the apartment, so that's how I knew that maybe that's why he's weird, you know? Maybe that's why. And I saw him again when I was on a run, and he's like, you're working up a good sweat. And I was like, yeah, I am. Thank you for asking. I do not like you. But anyways, that dude was interesting. There was another person I walked by on my way to 7-Eleven. He, like, I don't know, like, sometimes I'll walk by someone and I get scared. And, like, I'll just be like, you look really sketchy and suspicious, and I don't really want to be near you. And I had that with one guy who's, like, kind of looked like, you know, another, like, type of, like, mom's basement kind of dude. You know, those dudes? Yeah, those dudes. Yeah, man, he was wearing, like, I don't know, man. He looked kind of dirty. He's wearing a Rush t-shirt. And he's like, hey. And I'm like, hey. And then we, like, walked by each other. And that was it. But I was, like, kind of freaked out for no reason. I was like, don't kill me. Spare me, please. But, yeah, I got into the 7-Eleven, like, being shaky and being weird. And then I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, someone said hi to me and I got scared. Can you pick me up? And she said, yeah. And so I was like, okay. I'm easy to scare. I'm easy to, like, be freaked out by something. As you can tell. I've met a lot of strange people. And peculiar people. Many strange people I have run across on my ventures to 7-Eleven and at the pool and at the Irish St. Patrick's Day festival. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a fun time. So I think that will be all for today. I thank you a lot for being here, and also don't forget to take care of yourself and find something that makes you happy and that makes you happy as long as it doesn't hurt anyone or ruin lives. Aha. If you are on Tumblr and fangirling about serial killers, then do not do that, even if it makes you happy. I will come to your house and slap you. I just found out that was a thing, and I just wanted to say that I hate it, and I'm sad about that thing's existence. I'm gonna shut up now. So, remember to love yourself, and don't take life for granted. And I always try to put a nice little positive message at the end, but honestly, my mind is going blank. So I'm just gonna say, stay here for your loved ones, and realize the beauty in life, and all that God has to offer. So, yeah. I hope you have a lovely day, or night, or morning, or twilight, I don't know. And, yeah. See you on the next episode. See you later. Bye.